Kazakhstan is well known all over the world as a supporter of ideas of peace, harmony, stability and security. As a significant player in the international arena, Kazakhstan has become an initiator and co-author of the Universal Declaration on a Nuclear Weapon-Free World. In addition, based on Kazakhstan's initiative, the UN General Assembly unanimously adopted a resolution to declare August the 29th as the International Day Against Nuclear Tests. This is only a small part of what has been done during the years of independence. Many countries are interested in cooperation with Kazakhstan today. Representatives of one of the European countries, the Principality of Andorra, also highlight the importance of expanding mutually beneficial contacts.
The relationship between Kazakhstan and Andorra is really very friendly. So we found that here at the United Nations we can contribute each other to cooperate. It's a big scenario. So we think that we can continue in this positive relationship with the action and performances of Kazakhstan regarding the abolition of nuclear tests.
Kazakh delegation will soon present a code of conduct to achieve a terrorism-free world at the upcoming 73rd session of the UN General Assembly in New York. The document is developed by the initiative of Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev. The main goal of the code is to create a broad international coalition of the partner countries to combat terrorism by 2045.
Основными темами работы делегации Казахстана будут вопросы миротворчества, нераспространения и разоружения.
The Kazakh delegation is working in areas as peacemaking, nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament, UN reforms and combating terrorism and drugs. We prioritize the work on achieving sustainable development goals. In accordance with the guidelines of the head of our state, Kazakhstan actively participates in discussions of the main topics of the UN General Assembly.
Казахстан активно принимает участие во всех основных темах обсуждения Генеральной Ассамблеи ООН.
The Kazakh government is continuing to prioritize the development of the transport infrastructure across the country. A number of promising projects are under development. A Kazakh delegation met with Korean investors in Seoul to present some of these projects as a potentially promising area of cooperation. Kazakhstan's Project Preparation Fund presented plans for construction of the light rail and railroad in Almaty as well as road projects in the Turkestan region. Korean investors demonstrated interest in these projects. The tender for the road construction between Shymkent and Saray-Agash will be announced next year. The preliminary cost of the project is approximately $500 million. Currently, all the public authorities are preparing the necessary documentation, including the feasibility study.
Первое — это объездная города Сарыагаш.
The first one is a bypass road near the town of Saray-Agash near the border in Uzbekistan. The next project is the maintenance of constructed roads between Saray-Agash and Shymkent. Construction of a bypass road near the city of Shymkent is another big project. The projects aim to ease the passage through the Saray-Agash and Shymkent cities so the freight flow reaches the Western Europe-Western China corridor as quickly as possible from the countries to the south of Kazakhstan.
A largest oil exhibition in Central Asia, KIOGI 2018, has opened in Almaty. It is a unique platform for discussion of the most important oil and gas topics, implementation of smart technologies and digital transformations in oil and gas industry. The exhibition is attended by representatives of 250 companies from 15 different countries that brought the most advanced technologies to Kazakhstan. Russian companies are very happy to be in Kazakhstan because we feel very comfortable here. There's a favorable investment climate here. 25 to 30% of all Russian oil companies are here, which is more than 100 representatives. A conference was held as part of the exhibition where local experts spoke about the economic effects of the innovative technologies implementation in the largest oil fields in Kazakhstan, such as Tengiz and Karashghanak. They also presented a Kazakh innovation titled Smart Field. A unique feature of the intelligent fields applied in Kazmunaygaz consists in the fact that it is not only a technological model, but a system which is based on full automation with the logistic model which allows managing our fields and production in real time. B2B talks, business meetings and presentations are held and profitable contracts are signed as part of the business program of the KIOGI exhibition that will last for 2 more days.
The gross regional product of Astana reached 5 billion tenge in 2017. The growth was estimated at 190 times in the last 20 years. The capital's share in the Republican GDP amounted to more than 11%. According to the forecast, by 2023, the GRP will reach 10 trillion tenge. In the past 3 years, Astana has been a donor of the Republican budget. Last year, the capital replenished the budget in the amount of 750 billion tenge. Investments into the capital's development have paid off by almost 2.5 times. Nearly 6 trillion tenge of private investment will be spent on the city's development in the next 5 years.
Налоговые поступления за 2017 год они составили.
In 2017, tax revenues amounted to 1 trillion tenge, out of which almost 78% went to the Republican budget. In the past 20 years, investments worth 8 trillion were attracted to Astana, particularly last year. The volume of investments amounted to 945 billion tenge, out of which 200 billion tenge account for direct foreign investments.
200 миллиардов тенге – это прямые иностранные инвестиции.
Astana not only replenishes the state treasury, but also attracts the interest of the business. Construction of the new capital triggered the development of almost all regions and a variety of industries. The number of small and medium-sized enterprises has also grown in Astana. By 2023, their share in the GRP will increase to 57%. Now this figure is estimated at 50%. In 2 decades, the tax revenues grew 78 times, reaching 1 trillion tenge.
У нас основной инвестор в городе – это предприниматели.
The city's main investors are businessmen. This means Astana is ranked #1 in the rate of development of small and medium-sized businesses. The share makes 69% from all investments, which means the small and medium-sized businesses are our main investor. In 20 years, Astana has become known as the growth center of the country's entire economy and the new industrial giant, as well as progressive and dynamically developing city. President Nursultan Nazarbayev has commissioned the government to create a comfortable environment in the city to promote innovations and develop a long-term strategy till 2025. It should also include the development of a business financial hub as part of the Astana International Financial Center, with already more than 50 registered companies. The European Union is expanding horizons of cooperation with the Asian countries. The 12th ASEM summit will be held on October the 18th and 19th in Brussels. Leaders of Asian and European countries, as well as representatives of international organizations, will discuss topics of trade, economic and investment partnership, a fight against terrorism, non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, and cybersecurity. Previously, the EU strategy for developing a close relationship with Asia was presented. As part of it, cooperation not only in transport but also energy, finance, and high technologies will be expanded, as well as cultural ties and business partnership will be strengthened. The projected amount of European investments in an Asian infrastructure can reach more than €1 trillion per year.
Good afternoon, everyone. Any investment in increasing connectivity has to be based on international rules and regulations that are, for us, a guarantee that things are done properly, that players have the same opportunities, that communities benefit from the projects. This is another aspect that characterizes the European approach to connectivity, and that I've discussed a lot, in particular with Central Asian partners, but also with others. Our project will aim at creating also jobs and economic growth and benefits for the local communities.
Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are establishing favorable tariffs aimed at the development of transit traffic. The parties agreed to optimize the freight traffic and make mutual tariff discounts. The decision was made in Tashkent at the meeting of the heads of railway administrations of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's member countries. The countries are set to increase the container traffic up to 2 million tons by 2020. At the meeting, the head of Kazakhstan's transport company, Kanat Alpizbayev, spoke about the effectiveness of the latest technologies implemented as part of the Digital Kazakhstan program. This year, the transit container traffic in Kazakhstan grew by 52%. At the meeting, the parties developed the SCO member states cooperation concept in the railway transport sector. The next similar meeting is planned to be held in Astana. Our Kazakh, Russian and Iranian partners provided preferences for transportation of freights from Uzbekistan, which laid the foundation for the increase of the traffic flow and strengthening of good neighborly relations between our countries.
Согласованная техническая политика и других стандартов.
We agreed on the technical policy and other standards that will allow eliminating the current barriers in freight traffic traveling across the Central Asian countries. We also reached agreements on the development of transport corridors in Central Asia.
Достигнута договоренности о развитии транспортных коридоров в Центральной Азии.
Supporting young scientists and fostering research are important elements of the growth of the country's innovative potential. In the future, these projects will significantly contribute to Kazakhstan's economy. For this purpose, a scholarship program for postdoctoral researchers has been launched in the country. A competition was announced as part of the Fostering Productive Innovations project. According to the terms and conditions, joint studies with foreign scientists can receive up to 17 million tenge, up to 12 months.
Целью данной грантовой программы является проведение высококачественных и актуальных для страны исследований.
The purpose of the scholarship program is to conduct high-quality and appropriate studies for the country that will influence a particular industry or increase the country's innovative potential. A selection is conducted in stages. The first stage is an application. Candidates will be selected by the International Council of Science and Commercialization. This council consists of 7 members, out of whom 5 international and 2 Kazakh experts.
Данный совет состоит из 7 членов, из которых 5 международные эксперты и 2 казахстанских.
The contest will last until the end of the month. Fostering Productive Innovations is a joint project of the Science Committee of Kazakh Ministry of Education and World Bank. The project aims to financially support research projects, production consortium, and inclusive innovations. In addition, technology brokers are involved in researching for investors and buyers, as well as in processing transactions and evaluating the intellectual property.
Мы сопровождаем эти проекты. Сопровождаем путем консультаций, оказания таких видов по.
We accompany these projects providing consultations, developing financial models and business plans. We have a project to automate the enterprises which are associated with ore flows, specifically mining the ore flows. This is often used in industrial enterprises. Ore flows are not always accurate. Thanks to developments of our scientists, this process can be automated.
Всегда там точные данные дают, а благодаря разработкам наших ученых данный процесс можно упразднить, автоматизировать.
Another important element of the project is the creation of an innovative observatory. This observatory will coordinate a national system of innovations in Kazakhstan.
A forum of regional mass media was held on the second day of the ongoing Astana Media Week. A large-scale event has gathered more than 100 representatives of the regional media outlets. The main topic of the day were the digital transformations in the media. The forum participants also discussed the latest trends in journalism.
Считаю, что это событие с каждым годом становится все более значимым и актуальным.
I think this event is becoming more and more important and relevant year after year. By bringing together the representatives of leading media organizations, we can discuss the key topics related to the development of the regional media. It is good to see that every year the number of regional media outlets is increasing. They're topping the Republican ratings because of the good work of the local journalists. The Kazakh Ministry of Information and Communications is ready to support the regional media. We're open to your suggestions and initiatives. In Kazakhstan, out of nearly 3,000 registered TV, radio and print media outlets, 77% are regional-level enterprises. The organizers of the Media Week believe that supporting the local media is important. As a result of the discussions at the forum, the participants voiced a number of practical solutions to facilitate the development of the local channels and newspapers. Some of these solutions could be an enhanced cooperation between the local media and increased government subsidies, the journalists believe.
Что это даст? У регионов появится возможность создавать классный, хороший контент.
What will this give us? The regions will have the opportunity to create good content. The majority of the population lives in the regions. Not all the residents of the regions watch national and Republican level channels. Usually an average user is an ordinary consumer who wants to get information that is related to the place they're living in. Accordingly, only the regional media can provide this information.
И, соответственно, это дает только региональные СМИ.
The Astana Media Week will continue till Friday, featuring a number of seminars, panel discussions, and masterclasses.
Large-scale project titled Focus Kazakhstan was presented worldwide. International spectators have the opportunity to observe the Kazakh visual and contemporary artworks dated between the 1930s until the present days. For example, artist Ashat Ahmedyar created an installation titled Ancestors Amulet. It represents iron pots connected with ropes. The author wanted to demonstrate the importance of women's contribution to the household and the society in general. I had the idea of iron pots because I watched my wife being busy with iron pots in the kitchen. I felt sorry for her because it takes a lot of her time. Another artist created a huge canvas titled Kelin, made of plastic bags. The author wanted to attract people's attention to the environmental issues.
I
suggest completely changing our attitude towards this problem. We should start thinking about the ways to use the plastic. If the plastic cannot be fully destroyed, let's search for the ways to use it. Exhibition titled Post-Nomadic Mind features artworks by both renowned artists and the beginners. Representatives of different generations hold discussions and study the evolution of art beginning with the past centuries and up to the present time. The exhibition contains the traditional elements which distinguishes us from the English people and brings diversity. Focus Kazakhstan project is being implemented as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program, particularly the Modern Kazakh Culture in the Global World project, aimed at promotion of the Kazakh art in the world.
Which is not only about the present, but about the future, about a more open culture, about a more equal culture. Many of the artists, of course, women, and also something which can open up Kazakh's own idea of itself for the future.
The Kazakh art exhibition will be open for the British art admirers for a month. Moreover, Focus Kazakhstan project will be presented in Germany, the United States, and South Korea. The Kazakh Mozart played Pyotr Tchaikovsky's personal piano. Rahat B. Abdisagin became the first Kazakh musician honored to play the great classical composer's instrument. The 19-year-old composer is the author of more than 100 music compositions. Rahat B. became a university student at the age of 13 and obtained a master's degree at 18. The talented composer is currently studying in one of the leading Italian academies.
Очень рад, это неописуемое счастье. Я бы сказал, что играть на рояле самого Петра Ильича это...
I'm very happy and incredibly honored. I would like to say that for me, as a composer and pianist, playing Pyotr Tchaikovsky piano is like having a conversation with him. It's the instrument that fully expresses Tchaikovsky's soul and thoughts. In my opinion, his personal piano is the great legacy for the mankind alongside the original copies of his manuscripts. Of course, it's an incredible happiness for me to touch the instrument. It's similar to touching something divine.
И, конечно, это неописуемое счастье прикоснуться к этому. Это все равно, что прикоснуться к чему-то божественному.
The virtuoso pianist gave a concert in the Russian city of Klin as part of the Young Musician Ambassadors of Peace International program. The musician performed the Kazakh music alongside the works of composers such as Pyotr Tchaikovsky, Frederick Chopin, and Franz Liszt.
На сегодняшний день Rahat B отличается своим
Currently, Rahat B is a distinguished musician with a wide range of accomplishments that he achieved in music as a pianist, composer, public figure, and scientist who studied the art of music. Therefore, he was selected due to his incredible achievements and outstanding skills. Moreover, Rahat B is probably one of the first Kazakh musicians to participate in this festival, which is the inaugural festival.
Наверное, вообще один из первых принимать участие в таком фестивале, фактически в его открытии.
Before the concert, the young pianist laid flowers to the monument of Tchaikovsky and donated sheets to his own several symphonic pieces to the museum. In their turn, the Russian officials presented a modern disc clavier instrument to the Kazakh musician.